seems to be looking up for me.
Alright guys, so let's get into the materials you're going to need to make this super cute and easy DIY bow ring. The first thing I'm going to be using is the artistic wire, and I picked this up from Michaels, and it's in the size 20 gauge. The next thing you're going to need are some round nose pliers, and this is just to twirl the wire. Then you're going to need a pair of wire cutters. You can use jewelry cutters, which you can also get at Michaels. You can get any of these materials at Michaels pretty much, or your local craft store. And then lastly, you're going to need something about the same size as the finger you want to use, and I'm going to be using my ring finger, and this is about the same size in width or thickness. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, so we're going to start off taking our wire and unraveling it. Focus the camera. Okay. So you're going to want to cut a piece about this big. I'm not going to really use measurements. You want to make sure it's big enough. I'd rather cut it too big than too short. So just take your wire cutters and cut right about there. I would say that's about 3.5, 4 inches around there. And then the next thing you're going to do is flatten it as best as you can, just to try and get out any lumps in the wire. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so now you're going to take whatever object cylinder you're going to use that's about the same size as your finger, and you're going to want to take the wire and in the center just wrap it around. Make sure you wrap it tight so that it stays the shape. This is just to get the perfect shape of the ring and not an awkward circle. So this is my ring, and this is just the circle that's going to go around your finger, and it's a pretty perfect circle from using the mascara tube. But yeah, this is what it's going to look like. So once you've done this step, we're going to take our round nose pliers, and you're going to want to pinch it not directly on the center, but off center slightly. And depending on how big or small you want the bow, if you want a bigger bow, you're going to go down lower on the wire and clamp, but if you want a smaller bow, you're going to go up here. I'm going to be using a medium, so just right about there. Once you've done this, you're just going to take your wire, and you're going to take it and wrap it around your pliers. Then you're just going to take your pliers and take them out. You should end up with something kind of like this. And then what you're going to do now is just repeat the process on the other side. So you're going to clamp the wire again, however big you want the bow, and just wrap it around. Take it out. So now you should be left with something like this, and you should have the two little lumps you just made with your wire pliers, and they should be relatively the same in size. And then we're going to take our pliers again, once more, and you're going to want to clasp them in the center of the bow. So just between those two little lumps you made. So now we're going to take the longer wire, or if you don't have a longer wire, it should be the one that crosses over, so the one that's in front. And you're just going to push it through. This part's a little tricky. So once you've pulled it through, it'll look something like that. Then you're going to want to let go with your pliers, and you'll see what I did there. I just folded the bow side over and then under. And now you can just take your fingers and put it back in place. So now I'm just folding it back into where we originally had it. Kind of like that. This is just going to secure the bow so that when you wear it, like if anything was to hit it or anything, the bow would not come undone. So our last step now is just to trim the edges of our bow. You can cut them however short you want them to be. I like mine pretty short. Then it doesn't like scratch your finger when you're wearing it, and I don't think anybody wants that. So watch out because the wire will fling. And this will be your bow ring. Now if you want like either the sides bigger, one side's bigger than the other, you can also take your pliers and you can stick them through and just open it up a little bit if you want them bigger. You can just do both sides and just adjust it till you get the bow that you like. And that should be your finished bow ring.